Hey everyone, Matthew here, CanadianRenegade.com. Just over at the test plot today, and I came up with an idea for a video, so we're going to check these elm tree seedlings out. I planted them last year from seed, and they actually turned out pretty well. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. I put them in pots in the ground and covered them with a bit of mulch, and as you can see, they all made it. I planted 3 or 4 per pot. And today I'm going to transplant them into larger pots, if I can find some larger pots. And if I can separate them, I will, because I'd like to have as many as possible. But if not, I'll probably just cut off the weaker ones and leave the strongest in each pot. And you can see that they're putting on some pretty good growth. Like basically from about here up, that's all new growth. So I'm pretty happy with how these are coming along, and when I get to potting them, I'll tell you how I kind of had the idea to try this, but I'm happy that I did. Okay, so let's take a look at these out of the pot here. And I just used reused pots last year as well, but you can see, hopefully you can see it on the camera, there's worms in there. Oh, and beetles mating, looks like. Where are they? Right there. Guess they want their privacy. You can see like a worm right there. So I just used garden soil last year. I didn't have any special potting mix or anything, and what I did was, when I was at work, I had to clean out some gutters that were full of elm tree seeds a few times. They were just plugged up, and I noticed that some of them were sprouting in the gutter. So I gathered some of those seeds up in a Ziploc baggie, and some of them were already pre-sprouted, and I just threw them in soil just as an experiment, and most of them did okay. So I think it's a pretty solid ball right here. I think the roots are entwined quite a bit, and I think I'm just going to cut off the smaller ones, maybe get rid of some of these weeds, although that clover probably could have stayed. Maybe I'll leave that one. Nah, I'll take it out. Okay. But I don't want to disadvantage the bigger ones and stronger ones in order to separate them. And I am planning on planting some more this year because there will be more seeds. So we've got one left there, and this one will go into a bigger pot. But doing not too bad for just, plain old garden soil, and honestly didn't give them too much attention last year, so I think it's looking pretty good. This year I'm going to be a little bit more sophisticated with the potting mix I use. I'm going to make my own potting mix up here. So what's in here is just some old potting mix, and I'm going to do things in about thirds. So I'm going to use about a third of this. And just got some plain peat moss in here. I'm sort of just using whatever I have lying around. This is basically just an experiment. A lot of times when you do stuff, even if you're not really sure what you're doing, you're going to learn a lot. And then I'm going to use about, this is just garden soil, so 1/3 old potting mix, 1/3 peat moss, and 1/3 garden soil. And I think I might add, you can see there's some those peat pots or peat pucks or whatever they were in there as well. But I might add some sort of a natural fertilizer at some point, but I don't really have anything to use today. Or I could maybe use some wood ash and blood meal or something, but I'll worry about that another day. There'll be plenty of nutrition in here in the short term. But I think this will make a pretty good mix. Certainly as good as what they're in right now, if not better. That was just, like I said, just plain soil. And I guess what I find funny about me noticing the seeds in the gutter sprouting is, that's one of the permaculture principles, right? Observe and interact. So, I observed, like, hey, these are viable seeds. Elm trees are some pretty nice trees. If you were to go buy one in the nursery, you would pay quite a bit. If it was a good size, you might pay $100 for a 6 to 9 foot tree or something like that. And but hey, you can make your own for free, and that's the beauty of trees and horticulture and whatnot. Is if you learn a little bit of skills, and if you have a bit of patience, you can basically do quite a bit. But I guess that's my cue with the plane going over, so we'll cut to the next scene here. This is the nicest of the 3 elm trees out of the pots. I'm going to pot this one up for you guys real quick. Take out some of the weeds. I can get it out of here. It's always on camera. Aha! Finally got it out of here. That was quite a pain in the butt. Oh wow, look at this. I don't know what's going on in here, but anyways, it is doing pretty good. So I'll just throw some more potting mix in there. Might go just a tiny bit more. These are a pretty good sized pot, so should be good for another year or two, I would think, in these. Alright, so I'm going to let that soak in, and I think that'll be it for today. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and until next time, take care.